Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about multi-step equations. It's basically how to solve them. So I just want to do a recap of how to solve equation. Okay, so we know that in an equation has left side and right side. Okay. We know that the equation has a left side and has a right side. What we're gonna do, on, yeah. You might have to do this on a separate sheet of paper because I don't know if you'll have enough room for all these. It's not a lot. So equation has a left side and a right side, equals in between. We want to isolate. What does isolate mean?
Leave it alone.
Leave alone. Leave alone the variable. Okay? The variable we sometimes put as just x. Okay? So sometimes variable, just put quotation x. And to do that, we have to do the opposite operation. Okay, opposite operation. So we talked about opposite operation. If you see an adding, okay, you see add, we do subtract. Okay, so when you see adding, you do the opposite of it, which is subtracting.
So if it says plus, we do minus.
Correct. Yeah.
If it is a minus, we do plus.
Yeah. So if we see subtract, we do the totally opposite. We do addition. Okay. If we see multiply, if we see multiplication, what do we do? Divide. Opposite. And then when we see divide, we do opposite, which is multiply. Okay. So once you realize that we're just doing the opposite, undoing what was done to the x, it's a little bit easier from there. It's easier to remember that, right? So we know that the equation has a left side and a right side. And then what we're trying to do is to isolate the x. So we're going to do the opposite operation depending on what we see. Okay, is it okay if I move it up? And this is the third point. What we do on one side, we have to be to do, not to be, to do the same on the other side. Okay, so these are just the 3 steps, 3 things to remember on that. And that's what equality is. You do to one, you gotta do to the other. Okay, I'll let you copy that down. This is gonna be on our scanned notes, so good? Is that easy to remember? Yeah? Is it easy to remember?
And I can remember that if it is a plus, if it is additions, we put a minus.
Correct.
And if it is minus, we put additions.
Correct.
If
Yeah.
it is a divide, we put a
Multiply.
multiplication.
Yeah, correct. Is everybody okay with this or finished copying? Yeah? Or is it too fast? All good? Yeah? I want to put this on your notes on the screen because sometimes it's easy to remember when you're writing down the steps. Down the steps. Not just in your brain, but you're physically writing the steps. So, I'll push this. Is that good? Okay, now here's the thing. It's a multi-step, guys. So, what do you see happen to the x? What do you see? What operation do you see there?
Minus, subtraction.
No, well, what do you see first? What do you see? Times it by 3, yeah? Times it by 3, right? What else do you see on that x? What do we see? We see that a 5 got added to that as well, right? Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We see, I'm gonna write this down. We see what? Multiply and no, that's what we're gonna do later. What we see first, add. Okay, so we see multiply and addition. So what do we have to do?
Division
We do, okay, we're gonna do some division
and
subtraction and subtraction. We're gonna do just that, okay? We're gonna do division and subtraction. Now the question is, which one do we do first? Which one do we do first? Now, equals 11 there. Because we have division and subtraction that we're gonna do. Which one do we do first? Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna do is the minusing of 5. Yeah, we're gonna deal with adding and subtracting first, and then do the division and multiplication after. So here, we're gonna subtract 5 first, so subtract 5. Subtract 5, okay. Subtract 5, but I gotta subtract 5 on each side. Subtract 5, okay. We're gonna do it one step at a time, right? This is a multi-step anyway, right? So it means a few steps to do this. So if we subtract 5 on the left side, what's left behind? If we subtract 5 on each side, what's left over? We're left with 3x. 3x, yeah. We're left with 3x. okay, equals what's left here. 11 subtract 6, which is
11 subtracted is
I said the answer. Oops. Okay. I'm thinking the answer is 6 and I said 6. Okay, 11 subtract 5, which is 6. Yeah, good. So we did subtraction first. Okay, now this is our new equation. New equation. What's left here? 3 times x. Okay, well, if it's times, we're gonna do divide. We're gonna divide. We're gonna divide, okay, divide by 3. Divide by 3. Okay, remember our main goal is to have the x alone. We gotta divide by 3. So the 3's cancel. What's left over? So on the left side, it's gonna be just x equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay. So is 2 the correct answer? Yeah. Okay. So how do we know that? Okay. Try that on your calculator. Let's check it. 3 times 2 plus 5, is that equal to 11? Okay, try that. Let's try this on our calculator. So 3 times 2 plus 5, is that equal to 11? Yeah? So this is 11 equals 11. So that means our answer is correct. Okay.
Do we have to show our work?
I kind of did it differently to find that equation.
Okay, so how did, oh sorry, I'll get to your question. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Shauna.
I did brackets 11 times away 5 bracket equals 6 divided by 3 equals 2.
Oh, you did it all in one. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
I did it backwards.
yeah, so you did,
I did a subtraction first,
mm-hmm.
and then I did the division next.
Guys, I got some really crazy stuff. I didn't do this.
That's a good, okay.
Oops. Us. Actually, when I get to this one, was like, here we go. Take away 5. Bracket divide by 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's basically, yeah, that's exactly, mm-hmm.
Well, like, compared to that, I don't know how, I didn't really know how to set that up, but I knew how to. when I
To do
seen
that,
it.
yeah, yeah, that's okay, yeah, yeah. But all of the things that we did, like subtracting by 5, I see it there. I see dividing of by 3. Okay. Thank you. Well, that's good. What you've shown there is basically like you did it all in one shot. One shot to isolate x. This one here, I'm doing it like one piece at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. But you're still doing the opposite. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's basically how I answered all of them, even the challenge lessons.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The only one that we got stuck on was last night was the
Challenge question 2 and
challenge
3.
question 2 and 3.
Okay. Well,
There was
I had to, it popped a couple of rainbow cells in there.
good. It's expanding. Couldn't contain it. Okay. Your brain is just expanding that you just could not contain. Okay. Let's try example number 2. Okay. What do you see? What do you see happen on the side where x is?
Subtraction.
You see? Subtract, and what else? And how would you say this? 6 times x. So that means, so multiply there, right? So this is what we see. 6 times x, so that's multiply, minus, which is subtract, 93. So if this is what we see, then what do we do? What's the opposite of subtract?
Multiplication.
Addition.
Subtract, add. And what do we do the, if it's a multiplication, what's the opposite of multiply?
Divide.
And divide. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Addition and dividing. So we're gonna do the adding first. Okay. Add what? 93, because it subtracted 93, so that means we have to add 93. Add 93 on each side. Okay, so if we added 93 on each side, what's on the left? Left side. 9 plus 93, which is 102. 102. We gotta do equals. Now I gotta go here, cover this piece. Okay, minus 93, add 93. They just cancel each other out. What is left behind? 6x.
Divide.
6x. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get there. Okay, this is a new equation. We see multiply. What are we gonna do? Huh?
Add 93 to 9.
Now we're gonna we're gonna divide by 6. Divide by 6. Divide by 6 on both sides. So 102 divided by 6. 17. So we're gonna get 17. I'm gonna put my equal sign, and then that's just x. Is that okay? What do you see? What do you see happen to the x? Oh, that's what you're gonna do. Yeah, you see multiply and what do you see first? I see subtraction. Subtract. Okay, and what are you gonna do?
Divide.
We're gonna divide and add. Okay, so which one are we gonna do first? Divide or add? We're gonna add first. We're gonna add first. Yeah, we're gonna add first so that we do the one that's farthest to the x. Okay, farthest to the x. Okay, so we add, what are we gonna add here? 97. Add 97. Add 97. And so that cancel each other out. What remains in here? So we're gonna get 668 equals 2x And then the next one is opposite of multiply, which is dividing. So divide by 2. So 668, that would be 334 equals to x. Let's try example 4. Is that okay? Are you getting the hang of it? Yeah? Yes. Yes? Okay. What do you see? What do you see where the x is? You see a plus and multiply, right? Okay, what do you do? We subtract and divide. And divide. So see what we see where the x is, add and multiply. So we're going to do the opposite, which is subtract and divide. So which one are we going to do first? I'm going to subtract first. So subtract first. Subtract what first? So that 12 is gone. We're left with 5x on the left side, and then this is going to be 85 on the right side. Next one, what are we going to do? Now we got to divide by 5. Divide by 5 to cancel the 5. So x is equals to 17, yes. Okay, last but not the least, example 5. What do you see? Yeah, you see a plus and divide, right? We see a plus 7, and when we divide by 4. So what do we do? Which is totally opposite to that. Subtract, correct? And multiply. Okay, good. So which one are we going to do first? The farthest away from the x, which is plus 7. So subtract 7. Subtract 7. 7 cancels. We're left with x divided by 4, or over 4. 12, correct. Very good. Okay, so we have x is divided by 4 equals 12. Okay, the next thing is we're going to do, what do we do? Times by 4. We're going to multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. Cancel, cancel. So it's going to be 40, 12 times 4, which is 48. 48. How do you feel about that? Yeah? Yeah, it takes practice, certainly, just like any other skill. So this one definitely will be on the blog for you. Your assignment is going to be on page 25. Page 25. And that actually concludes our first booklet. We finished our first booklet. Today's what, Wednesday? Okay. So, I'm thinking our test on this, because we're pretty much finished. Okay. It's gonna be on next week. Actually, did I say Monday yesterday? Okay, no, I'm gonna change it to Tuesday, October 1st. Okay? No, we'll chat. We'll chat. Okay? So our test will be next week on Tuesday. So before that, tomorrow you will be given the hand-in assignment, the third hand-in assignment for this booklet, right? And then we'll do a review, go over review, and then we're ready for the test, right? So that's what's in store for us for the next little bit. So next week, put that on your calendar. October 1st is our test. Okay? So for tonight, you're working on the assignment